What's going on, y'all? Attorney Tom here. The trial of Tim Heidecker, day 4. Let's jump right into it.
Before we begin, I have some good news to you, Mr. Heidecker. I've been able to schedule the hearing on that second contempt citation for this December 4th as well. However, I must advise you, the court clerk has told me that if it's necessary to enter a third contempt citation, you will need to come back at a different time.
I apologize.
That is so funny. That is actually very accurate. Generally, when somebody is really getting the screws put on them in court, it is presented to them in a passive-aggressive way. The judge said, "Hey, Tim, good news. I'm able to schedule your contempt hearings for the same day, saving you time." Poor Tim, he just cannot keep his mouth shut.
Approach the bench?
No.
May I approach the bench?
No.
Why not? May I approach the bench?
I am the judge. I don't have to even give you a reason.
Again, there are no excuses for destruction of property. I will just want to, for the record, state that I was not aware of the prosecution's witness of Ayaka, and that came as a surprise for me. Obviously, there's a lot of emotion there. I would love to call my first witness. He is, well...
By the way, there generally are never any surprise witnesses in court. Everything is totally mapped out beforehand in pre-trial hearings. It is not like the movies. There are no surprise witnesses. Had Tim not fired his lawyer and gone pro se, he probably would have been better prepared.
I just want for the record to know that he's not, he should be calling for a mistrial because at this point he's admitted
Mr.
that he's...
Heidecker.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Heidecker.
Just relax. I've got this.
You.
World-renowned musician, a respected DJ in the EDM community. He is here on his own volition and out of his own busy schedule. Let's please welcome to the stage Orion Jacks. And Orion, there he is. If you would just sort of recall the events of the night from your own memory, I think that would be very helpful in illuminating to the jury here.
Well, I mean, it was chill, like, it was cool. I didn't get to play, I mean, you know, because all the kids dying, but, it was cool. A little bit disappointing, like, I mean, there was no food, there was no water, so there was no catering or anything like that, which is...
Well, there was catering, pardon me, there was, there was food brought in for the artists.
Not for me, there wasn't. I didn't see that. So I mean...
Well, you guys didn't put this on the... It was back in this area here. Mm-hmm. And we had a bunch of tacos and stuff.
I didn't see that.
But by about 5 o'clock, we had like 7 bags of Mexican food, like burritos and stuff.
Not from what I saw.
Tim is trying to show that his festival was well run, but it is totally backfiring on him. Sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. Tim is trying way too hard to save what he's done, and it has backfired time and time again.
Okay.
Huh. I didn't even have any water, man.
I know. Well, there was...
So...
We don't want to show that. You have to confirm this, that you said to me the night...
That's where the kids... Look, he goes, I don't want to show that.
We don't want to show that. You have to confirm this, that you said to me the night of the festival, before you were going to play, that I said, "Are you having a good time?"
Yeah, no, I had a cool time.
What
But
was your answer?
Yeah, it was a cool time. I was chilling. There were a couple good sets. I was watching a couple good things going on. But I mean, at the end of the night, so if you're having a good time and at the end of the night something bad happens, like you don't get paid or people start dying, then of course what you said previous, that kind of, you know, doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, that's for the jury.
Look at the judge. Look at the judge. He's trying so hard not to smile. Tim is screwed.
Put it aside.
Okay.
And you didn't see any food or were able to get any food?
No, there was no food back there.
You didn't see any water? You weren't able to
No,
get
there wasn't
water?
any of that back there.
And he didn't pay you on that day, correct?
Nope. And I still haven't been paid, so.
Objection asked and answered.
Did he
We
pay
had
you
covered
to
that already.
testify?
I'm sorry?
Did he pay you to testify today?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Absolutely not. May I approach the bench? said, I did not say I would pay you for this testimony.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Yes,
I
you
said
did.
I would pay you for the festival.
Yeah, but you also told me that you're going to pay me for this as well.
I did not say
Yes,
that.
you did.
I
We
was-
spoke
you're-
on the phone a couple nights ago about this, and you said
Unbelievable.
if I come in and I testified that you would pay me.
I would
That's
pay
why
you
I'm here.
for the festival, the money you're owed.
No, that's not what you said. That was a
Okay,
separate
well,
issue. That was a separate issue.
That's dishonest to say that you that I was offering.
So Tim's credibility has been destroyed by this point. Nobody clearly believes Tim. Fun fact, you actually can pay people to testify, and it's not a big deal. Think about it. People have busy schedules. Nobody's going to go out of their way to testify for things, especially when they're not primarily involved. Now, obviously, you can get subpoenaed to testify, but even if you get subpoenaed, generally, sometimes, depending on the state, I don't know where I'm going with this, you can still get paid, or they have to pay you a fee to come and testify. For expert witnesses, you have to pay them to testify, and sometimes it's hundreds or thousands of dollars an hour. And that's not to mention their reports and all that kind of stuff, and that stuff is admissible. And the best thing to do as a trial lawyer is just to admit that up front. There's no shame in it. Oftentimes when people try to hide it, the opposing party on cross-examination tries to get up there and make it seem like they're getting paid, and that's a bad thing because they're getting paid to say exactly what that party wants, which is not true. They're getting paid to tell their expert opinion, but it is a job and they need to make money, or they need money to live.
Money for testimony.
I'm here to tell the truth, and I'm just telling the truth.
We have no, this witness is disregard. Yeah, well, good luck working on it. Good luck doing with your music. It sucks.
Mr. Heidecker.
That's why I get paid $50,000 a show, right?
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be worth it.
Something that you couldn't
Fuck
afford.
off.
Something that you couldn't afford, right?
And just in your own words, paint us a picture of your experience there that Friday.
I had a wonderful experience at the festival. I thought great music, good food, good vibe all around. DKR rocked, and I didn't see anyone get sick or injured or hurt at the festival. And
I guarantee you this guy's lying. Cross-examination is going to be hilarious.
I thought Tim was doing a great job up on stage, slaying it on the laptops, making good beats for everyone.
You didn't see the defendant handing out vape pens or being associated with this kind of activity?
I do not recall that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your testimony. It was very helpful.
Have you ever been employed by Mr. Heidecker?
No.
No. May I remind you that you're under oath, and you know the consequences for lying under oath to perjury. Your Honor, at this time, the prosecution would like to show a clip from the TV show Decker. Is that you, Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Do you recognize this, Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Fun fact, hold on. IMBD, he's got an IMBD profile. Fun fact, I have an IMBD profile. Yes, my girlfriend and I were extras in a IMBD, or I don't know if it's an IMBD, some form of film that was put on IMBD.
Yes.
Mr. Pop has just acknowledged his headshot on the Internet Movie Database, which is a database maintained for professional actors. And below it, you'll see his one credit on the TV show Decker. Are you being compensated by the defendant for your testimony today?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
I would like to call to the...
That was good by the prosecution. Listen, you don't need to go into elaborate details and get every little thing. He ended his cross-examination at a high, at the dramatic effect. Are you being paid by Mr. Decker? Yes. No further questions. You don't need to ask how much he's been paid, why he's being paid, all those things that the jury can infer because the jury is smart. Things are looking good for Tim. And also that guy could totally go to jail for perjury.
Court acclaimed actor and... Hold on, Joe. I'd like to call to the stand acclaimed actor, played the president, Jason Davidson, and Jason Davidson Jr. on the Decker TV show. A very good friend of the defendant. Let's welcome Joe Estevez. We're thrilled.
He introduces everybody like a rock star. Fun fact, the reason why the witnesses are not in the courtroom when they're being called is something called the rule. Essentially, what the rule is you don't want witnesses inside the courtroom hearing what the other witnesses say for their testimony or how the trial is going, because that might alter their testimony. So you exclude them, they don't talk to each other, they're outside the courtroom, so when they come in, they tell an unprejudicial or unbiased narrative of what they know or what they experienced.
I think the whole court's thrilled to have you here.
Well, I'm on it.
A little starstruck, I bet some of them are.
I doubt that, but
What are your general thoughts, impressions of the defendant and as a guy?
meaning, Tim, I always thought you were terrific, and you and I always got along together, and it cast me as the president. I mean, that's I always thought of Tim as a hail fellow, and always
what?
there, hail fellow.
Hey, old fellow.
Hail fellow, it's an old term, but just an all-around good guy that you could count on. You could count on Tim. So that's
You can count. I'm sorry. You
can count on Tim.
can count on Tim.
Yes, sir.
That's coming from Joe Estevez.
In your opinion, did Tim ever seem to be off, like possibly he was on drugs while working?
That's just an opinion thing. I mean, maybe sometime, maybe I don't know.
Did Tim have a drug problem?
Well, we thought so. We had a stage an intervention for him. After.
I'm sorry, who's we?
Me and some of the fellow actors and his friends, Tim's friends, we thought he may have a little problem, after he set himself on fire.
Oh, I'm sorry, could you repeat that just in case the jury didn't hear that?
He had an accident. I don't know the circumstances behind it, but he got hurt pretty badly in a blaze, in a fire.
Where he set himself on fire, I believe
Well,
that's what you said?
let me retract that. He was burnt in a fire. I don't set himself on fire.
And did you observe that his issues with the drugs got better after the intervention?
You can't tell something like that.
And his name, we've seen him before. I'd like to bring him back to the witness stand. Is Greg Turkington. I'm going to call Greg Turkington to the stage.
People wish to cross-examine.
So that's totally inconsistent with what I just told you. I don't know why Greg and the other guy are allowed in the courtroom, but who knows? This is obviously a TV show. It is a fairly realistic TV show, though, other than Tim being ridiculous.
No, Your Honor, we're done asking the witness questions.
Mr. Turkington, you are excused.
Thank you.
Your testimony.
And your favorite movie?
It would be like probably a three-way tie. Casablanca, Jaws, Gone with the Wind, and then coming on rear like Sleepless in Seattle, and probably Raiders of the Lost Ark. I've seen
A couple more questions, and then I'll let you go back to your busy day of watching movies like a loser.
Objection, Your Honor.
How would you describe that? How would you describe that behavior, sitting around watching these movies?
Please
over and over?
direct your comments to the bench and not to other counsel.
How would you describe it, Judge? A man who sits around watching movies all day. These Sleepless in Seattle Hobbit movies. Is that a winner?
It's better than killing people
please
at a music
proceed.
festival.
That deserves a punishment right there. And can you clarify for the court here? Star Trek II was that shot? Did that movie take place in San Francisco?
Yes, it did. San Francisco shot there and also set there because the Starship Enterprise returns to San Francisco.
Okay. And to jump ahead, Star Trek IV does not take place in San Francisco.
That takes place in outer space.
I have no
Most of
further-
the Star Trek movies do.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
What was the point of that?
I just want to just remind everybody that we just heard from Mr. Turkington that some so-called film expert who also had quite a bit to say about my character and quite a bit to say about the events as they took place, as we discuss, has said a number of untruths today in his testimony, and that will be proven without a shadow of a doubt tomorrow in court. So stay tuned for that.
Wow. So, first of all, the guy was already called twice. You're not going to be able to call him a third time. That whole cliffhanger thing doesn't really fly or work or is real. Alright, y'all, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you hit that like button. It does me a huge favor. And also consider subscribing to this channel. My goal is always to make content worthy of your time. We're having a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying this series. And we're going to see it all the way to the end. Alright, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.